Okay, so Be'ezras Hashem, we are continuing with our weekly series of Shirim of the Zohar on the weekly Parsha, where we draw down the light of Torah's Moshe, the Raya Mehemna, to illuminate the space of the Zohar HaKadosh, the place of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, which is the place of the Butzina Kadisha. Moshe Rabbeinu is called the faithful shepherd, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is referred to as the illuminated candle, the illuminated flame. Now, a flame, a conflagration, can grow and it can grow and it can grow to the degree that it can potentially, God forbid, become destructive in its power. That's the nature of the conflagrations that we utilize on Lag BaOmer to celebrate the Butzina Kadisha, the flame, the Eish Min HaShamayim, that is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and the secret of the Torah of the Zohar HaKadosh, which comes from below to above. Awakening from within human passion, awakening from within the fear of forgetfulness and the burning desire to reach upwards, as Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was able to say on his deathbed. In that place of the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, there's a leiv boer ad hashamayim, as Rabbi Nachman describes, that the Jewish heart is on fire for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and left to its own devices, it will burn away all limitation and all measurement, even the measurement and the limitation that is necessary in order to ensure that the flame illuminate and not destroy, God forbid. And this is something that we have to ensure each and every Motzei Shabbos, as Rabbi Nachman describes, that when we look at the flames of the Hadalah candle, those flames of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Eliyahu Navi, that secret of life even after death, that secret of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai coming to the graveyard where there was a suspect of Tumas Misa, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was Tahir Ir Tiveria. He purified the land of Tiveria because that water of Tiveria softened the flames of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And we find every Motzei Shabbos that in the inflaming of those flames of separation, when the neshama begins to understand that it's descending down into a place of concealment, into the light of the Zohar HaKadosh, which is that which comes from above to from below to above, the orientation of human experience moving from within concealment, moving upwards, which is the secret of transforming the bitter into the sweet and the darkness into the light. In that place, we have to ensure that the lights of the Havdalah, the lights of the Hadalah candle, become Ma'orei Or and not Ma'orei Eish. The illumination of light and not the illumination of flames. Meaning to say the Butzina Kadisha, the flames of the Zohar HaKadosh, which is what moves from below to above through the passion and the power of Gevuros, which is the secret of Rabbi Shimon, the secret of Shmiya, the secret of hearing, the audio logic that's in the heart of the Zohar HaKadosh, the Gevuros of the Zohar HaKadosh. It needs to be balanced by the Raya Mehemna. It needs to be balanced by the stability and the clarity of the faithful shepherding that Moshe Rabbeinu's Torah ensures will continue to calm all of the intensity. The unity between Moshe Rabbeinu and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Moshe Rabbeinu's understanding that he has to go up to Shamayim to retrieve the neshama of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, is that Moshe Rabbeinu is minamayim mishisihu. It's a Torah shebechsav that's calm like water. It comes from above to below. It flows down in states of clarity. It flows down in states of reflection and calmness. The Eish of the Zohar HaKadosh, the Eish of from below to above, is moving upwards perpetually, seeking to ascend upwards and burn away any concealment. And it's only through the unity of the water of Moshe Rabbeinu, of Minamayim Mishisihu, and the Eish of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that we're going to be Zocha to the light of Shamayim, to the light of the Kizoyar Harikia, the Shamayim, the illumination of above, the illumination of Kimei HaShamayim Al Haaretz, the ability to live days of heaven in this world itself, the unity between the fire and the water, the unity between that which descends smoothly from above to below and that which ascends difficultly and with intensity from below to above. And that's what we're trying to do when we connect ourselves to the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu and the Raya Mehemna, which Moshe Rabbeinu, the Raya Mehemna, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is the Butzina Kadisha. And we've spoken about before how the Baal Shem Tov, when he went to the Heichal of Mashiach, and he said, Emosai Asimar, when is my master going to arrive? Mar is Rosh Tevos, Moshe Rabbeinu and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that the unity of the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and the secret of Bahai Safri, Afkin Megalus, Berachamim. So we have the ability of drawing down the Rachamim Rabbim of Moshe Rabbeinu into the Gvuros of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and allowing the Gvuros of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai to motivate the compassion of Moshe Rabbeinu, so that we have the unity of movement and stillness at the very same moment, the secret of the Yichud between Chachma and Bina, Moshe Rabbeinu being Chachma, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai being Bina. Now, there are times, and we've spoken about how the Zohar HaKadosh illuminates a path for a person within the mabul of that moment, as the Ramchal explains in the beginning of his commentary on the Ijur Rabbah, which we haven't gotten up to yet. But what the Ramchal describes is that the Zohar HaKadosh is a path within the sea. It is a state of calmness within chaos, not a calmness that erases chaos, but rather a calmness that, in spite of the chaos, enables itself to find the path of stability. That's the secret of the Teva. That's the secret of the Ha'ara of Bina, which we just said is the Eish of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, is that it is a womb of safety, an Ir Miklat that emerges specifically in a place where there should be no Ir Miklat, specifically in a place where there should be no comfort. The secret of the Teva is not that the mabul stopped, but rather that within the mabul there's a secret of a teva that can keep a person calm, and that's the secret of the Zohar HaKadosh. And so we know that B'hai Safri Afkin Megalusa. We know that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai tells us within the Zohar HaKadosh itself, in the self-consciousness of the text, where the sefer itself begins to be the sipor, or it begins to tell its own story, that B'hai Safri Afkin Megalusa, through this text you're going to be redeemed through compassion, Rachamim Rabim, the compassion of Moshe Rabbeinu's unified light from above descending down onto the chaotic forces of Rabbi Shimon's light from below to above, and that unification of Rachamim Rabim, of Shamayim, of the unity between Mayim and Eish. Mayim is Chesed, Eish is Din. The unity between the two of them is the midah of Rachamim Rabim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu looking at us, and in spite of the fact that we're undeserving in accordance with our behavior, nevertheless, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to be Ma'ira, the Geula, L'ma'ini Asa, for the sake of being Megala his Rachamim Rabim, for the sake of being Megala his Tiferes, that after all is said and done, the Tiferes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to be that which perpetually remains even after Hashem reveals his fullness, because the Rachamim Rabim is the purpose that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, to give Rachamim to each and every person, to give Rachamim, to be compassionate, to see a place of difficulty and to draw down Rachamim Rabim, not Din, not to look at the concealment, not to look at the reality in accordance with its externality, but rather to look at reality in accordance with the humble, vulnerable point of Anava, and that place of not having any power whatsoever, only looking upwards towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu and asking for Rachamim Rabim. In that place of the Zohar HaKadosh, we're going to see how Geula comes from the book itself. The book itself is the access point of Geula. That when a person enters into the calming narrative and the flowing nature of the Zohar HaKadosh, the soul is illuminated with a calmness. It walks confidently. It's Matayel and Gan Eden. It's the secret of the drip drop of Nitzchias into Zman, the perpetuality of all things without needing to rush anywhere, and the ability to stroll without purpose within the reality of purposefulness. It's a running and a calmness at the very same time. And that's where the calmness of the Zohar HaKadosh comes from, and calmness is Geula. Karvel Nafshi Geula is the experience of Menucha. But there are times where the Zohar HaKadosh explicitly speaks to us in a way that is clearly aligned with that which is taking place on the externality of reality. A person can look at the Zohar HaKadosh and see the news. A person can look at the Zohar HaKadosh and see all that there is to see. A person can do the same thing with Torah Shebechsav. But that's removed from the eyes of anybody but the true tzaddikim. The true tzaddikim, the mashgichim. For example, Rav Moshe Wolfson, Zchus Yogan Aleinu, the mashgiach, who had the ability of looking into the Torah and seeing oilamos. Anybody who looks at the Svarim, Amunah Sitecha, it's undeniable that a Kadosh Baruch Hu exists in the world because of the creativity and the radical creativity and the intuition and the innovation that emerges from that tzaddik's Torah reveals to us the light of the nitzchias of the Sefer, that a person can look inwards. And the Zohar HaKadosh very often will be in a concealed way reflective of that which is taking place on the outside, except for those who have the ability to see, those who are the mashkiach on the text. But there comes a time where the Zohar HaKadosh speaks explicitly to a person. And in Parsha Shlach, in the Parsha that deals with the difficulty of being in Eretz Yisrael, the concerns about Eretz Yisrael, the Chet HaMeraglim, the natural tendency of the human being to look at Eretz Yisrael and say, oh my goodness, how is it possible? To look at Eretz Yisrael and to see Malchus in her destitution, to look at Eretz Yisrael, as Rabbi Nachman said when he came back finally to Eretz Yisrael from never having been there, he said, this is a land like any other land. And only after coming to terms with the fact that it's a land like any other land, he came to understand that, in fact, it is a land unlike any other land. And in spite of the fact that the Shemayim looks the same, it's a fundamentally different Zach. And Eretz Yisrael is a thing that rests at the center of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Ratzon HaElyon in the creation of the world. Nishmas Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, Torah Yisrael, the expression of unity amongst all of those things. All of the tzaddikim always had their eyes on Eretz Yisrael. And Parsha Shlach, we know that the Chet HaMeraglim is something that is perpetually giving us reason to cry. A bechia shel chinam, A bechia shalchina means a bechia, a crying that doesn't even feel like it's doing what we need it to do. It's almost as if we're crying in vain, God forbid. In spite of the fact that we know that there's not a single tear or the expression of a desire towards a tear or the desire of a desire towards a tear that goes to waste, and all of it is placed within the noid, all of it is placed within that chamber where HaKadosh Baruch Hu collects all of these things until the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu Be'ezras Hashem, may it be soon. And the Chet HaMeraglim is something that reverberates throughout reality in the heart of each and every Yid when they feel anxious, when they feel uncomfortable, when they look at the land of Eretz Yisrael, when they look at the expression of Eretz Yisrael, and they say, how could it be? And that it's bigger than me and it's overwhelming and it's too strong and we're small. All of these inyanim that continue to be mitorer in our times as well, the anxiety that can be present in a person when they contemplate Eretz Yisrael, all of that is a taitza'ah. All of that is a taitza'ah of the Chet of the Meraglim, which didn't have the eyes to see the pnimius of Eretz Yisrael, which didn't have the eyes to refine the chitzonius, to look inwards and to see that Eretz Yisrael is nothing other than the nekuda of emuna, that a person stands upon at every moment, that where my feet take me is exactly where HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me. And b'chol makom shani holech rak le'Eretz Yisrael. All there is Eretz Yisrael. There's never been anything other than Eretz Yisrael, which is what makes the Chet of the Meraglim so egregious, in that it represents the very natural tendency within the heart of even those who we see as tzaddikim, to have a difficult time understanding the benefit of Eretz Yisrael. The Meraglim were Gedolim. They were afraid of losing that sense of Yeshus, that Yeshus the Kedusha. Eretz Yisrael swallows everything up. Eretz Yisrael is Eretz Oichel Yoshveha. It swallows everything up, as the Vitebsker said, the Pri Haaretz, the Vitebsker is Mushrosh in this week's Parsha. The Vitebsker and Tiveria and the Kalasker, all of them are a tikkun to the Chet of the Meraglim. And Toiva Haaretz Ma'oid Ma'oid, there's a tzimtzum upon a tzimtzum in the land. And that tzimtzum upon a tzimtzum is avada to be Megalazain on the Yichud Ha'amiti of Elyonim V'Tachtonim B'Yachad, and the secret of the Malchus HaGenuza B'Radla. But nevertheless, it appears at first glance that when a person arrives into the concept and into the place of Eretz Yisrael, that the natural thing to take place is a yerida in moichin, a yerida in guf, a yerida in leiv. And it's specifically there that a person can look at Eretz Yisrael and they can say, what am I gaining? What am I gaining from the concept of Eretz Yisrael? What am I gaining from Eretz Yisrael? I'm losing in Eretz Yisrael, God forbid. And it's specifically there that a person has to be mischazik and miskaber over that tnua, that natural tendency to be like the Meraglim and to complain, God forbid, about Eretz Yisrael, and to forget about the tuv ha'aretz and the tuv of Yerushalayim and the light of the tzaddik ki tov. And a person has to be miskaber at every moment where those reverberations of the Chet HaMeraglim are ma'ir in the heart or the mind, consciously or unconsciously, throughout the entirety of existence, wherever Yid finds themselves, whether it's in Eretz Yisrael or outside of Eretz Yisrael. Kol makom shani olech rak le'Eretz Yisrael. There's Chabad and there's Breslov. Chabad enables a person to be in Eretz Yisrael prior to being in Eretz Yisrael, and Breslov enables a person to be in Eretz Yisrael while being in Eretz Yisrael. Wherever we're walking to Eretz Yisrael. Wherever we're going, we're being metak in the Chet of the Meraglim, of Liros Betuv Haaretz, to see the Tova Haaretz, Ma'oid Ma'oid, the Ma'oid Ze Yitzhahara, the Ma'oid Ze Malach HaMaves, the Ma'oid is the Gevura itself, Gesher Tzar Ma'oid Ma'oid, Ma'oid Ma'oid Have Shafal Ruach, the doubled Ma'oid, the doubled Ma'oid, the doubled Ma. The doubled what? The ma, I don't know anything. I don't know anything even after I've come to terms with not knowing anything. That's what takes place in Eretz Yisrael. And every time there's a hisayrus and something that causes a person to have a chalisha sadas, or questioning over the fundamental necessity of the or of Eretz Yisrael and the mitzias of Eretz Yisrael, a person has to be miskaber and overcome that natural tendency of falling back into the Chet HaMeraglim. And the Zohar HaKadosh in this week gives voice to this. It gives voice to this very tnua in Parsha Shlach. Zohar HaKadosh is talking about coming of Mashiach and the schar that's going to be niskala to those who have waited properly. For those who have waited, waiting by definition is an encounter with difficulty. It's an encounter with a prevention. By definition, to wait means that I am not getting what I want immediately. I am not receiving what I have expected, and I'm coming to terms with the fact that I can actually persist and continue to exist, even though I don't have the thing that I thought I needed in order to exist. That's the secret of waiting. That's the secret of Tzipiyah Yeshua. That's the secret of drawing the future into the present by way of recognizing that I have what I need, even though I don't necessarily have it in a revealed way. And the secret of the schar that we're going to begin to taste and that we have the ability to taste even before the arrival of Mashiach Tzidkenu. Pasach v'yamar, the Zohar Kadosh tells us it's always an opening. There's always an opening of Chachma. Pia pascha v'chachma. In order for us to understand the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, which is the light of Bina b'Tahara, which is the Zihira Ilah, which is the secret of the Zohar Kadosh, which comes from below to above, which is why it's written in Targum, which is a language that above to below can't fully understand. The only way to properly enter into the realm of Bina and the Gevura therein is to attach ourselves first and foremost to the light of Moshe Rabbeinu, the Raya Mehemna, which is the secret of Chachma, the Yesod Abba, which is Pasach b'Chachma. Pasach, I make an opening of Chachma, and then I descend down into the disintegration of Bina itself to ensure that all of the disintegration of Bina is always just revelatory of the deep unity of Chachma, which is always the Tachlis. The Amar, Pasuk says, Al Har Gavoa Alaylacha Mevaseret Sion. Ascend to me on a big mountain, ascend to me on a great mountain, and there will be the expression, the Besura, the announcement of redemption in Sion. Al Har Gavoa, what's Har Gavoa? What's this Har Gavoa that the tzaddikim are nidme lahem Har Gavoa? That the Yetzer Hara appears to be a Har Gavoa. What's this Har Gavoa? Hai vadai Har Ha'ivriim Eser de Moshe is kaver. It's Har Ha'ivriim, the place where the Das of Moshe Rabbeinu is buried, and we know already that the Das of Moshe is buried within each and every one of us. The reason, as the Mori Naim says, that we don't know Moshe Rabbeinu's burial place, Lo Yada Ishas Kfuraso, is because Moshe Rabbeinu is buried in the Pnimius Hadas and the Pnimius Halev of each and every Yid. And a person can't know the innermost point of themselves, and therefore they can't know the burial place of Moshe. And every aspect of our existence, to be Matakin the Chet HaMaraglim, is to be Mamshich, the Neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu into Eretz Yisrael. The Chet HaMaraglim prevents the Neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu from coming into Eretz Yisrael, because Moshe Rabbeinu has to remain buried Mul Beis Pa'or in order to ensure the safety and the perpetuation of Klal Yisrael who have not yet been Zoichet to enter into Eretz Yisrael. But our job in our generation, as the Tzaddikim, Schusim, Megan Aleinu, and Shlita explained to us, is to draw the Neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu into Eretz Yisrael, to draw Moshe Rabbeinu into the light of the Zohar HaKadosh. And so this Har HaIvriim, this place, the Har Nun Bo, the place of Shah Hanun, the burial place of Moshe Rabbeinu, when I look from below, it's above. When I look from above, it's below. It's the connection of Chachma and Bina. It's the Nesiv Lo Yada Ayat. In that place, on this Har Gavoa, where the Besura of Tzion is going to come from, that's the place that Moshe Rabbeinu is buried. That's the place of the Das Mechaber, the Das that has the capacity of connecting that which appears to be difficult with the deep knowledge of that which is all good and all right at every moment. And we've been taught that it's there that the Shekhinah is going to ascend upwards to announce to the world the redemption. Why is the Shekhinah going to ascend up to that place? Because it's from the Shar Hanun that redemption is going to come from. It's from that place of the burial place of Moshe, where the announcement of Lo Yada Ishas Kfuraso, where we're going to come to the experience of Lo Yada, which is the emergence of Mashiach Tzidkenu, of Ani Hayom Yiladasicha, that it's today, it's at every moment, and therefore I couldn't have known until this very moment. The light of Lo Yada of Mashiach Tzidkenu, it's going to come from that place. The Shekhinah, the lowest place, Eretz Yisrael, Malchus, 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 that place which appears to be devoid of governance, God forbid, is in fact fundamentally contained within the very essential unity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's revelation in this world. That's where the Geula, the Besura of the Geula, is going to come from. And the Zohar HaKadosh refers to it as Tebaser Alma. The world is going to come to know, but we also know that Alma is Melashon He'elem, that Eretz Yisrael is an Indian of He'elem Davar to a certain degree. And it's only on the interiority that we come to reveal that through the concealment I come to uncover the light of Olam Haba in my own mind, which is the Nahar Hayotzimi Eden. And the redemption is going to be the removal of that concealment. Aval Kula Ihu. Mevaseret Zion da Ihu Chepsiba Isasa Denatsan Bar David Eima Ihi Menachem Bar Amiel. Zohar Kodesh continues to discuss the name of Mashiach Tzidkenu, the fact that the Besura of Tzion, the expression of Tzion coming back, is going to be through the Chefziba, the secret of Chefziba, the mother of David, the mother of Mashiach, Chefziba, that desire that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has for Klal Yisrael. The Nasan Bar David, Eima Ihi, that the son of David is going to give, Ihi Mashiach, the secret of Mashiach ben David, Menachem Bar Amiel. And he's going to emerge, and there's going to be the announcement of redemption from this place of the Shar Hanun. And this is included within the Besur of Tzion, the revelation of Tzion, or Chadash al Tzion Toyer, Kali Yishtama Ba'alma. There's going to be a voice that is heard throughout the land, throughout concealment. V'train malchin yisarun ba'alma, and there are going to be two kings that emerge, that awaken within the world. La'agcha kirba, to battle against Klal Yisrael, to create a battle. V'yifuk shama kadish al alma, and the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to emerge upon the world. It's going to be revealed, the Shem Havaya. Ma tevaser v'tema, what's the announcement going to be? Hine Hashem Elokim b'choizek yavo v'zroya mushlach lo. Hine scharo ito upu'ulaso lefanav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to reveal himself with strength and power, with an outstretched arm of victory, Mosheles, that's going to have control. And the benefit and the reward and the actions are going to be in front of him. Everything is going to be with him and in front of him. What does it mean that the reward will be with him? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to cry out through all of the celestial heavens. And he's going to announce, gather together and we're going to have a din. We're going to have a din, and there's going to be Rachamim Rabbim that is emergent from that din. Man de nishmase al kedusha shemi igre mai. One who has given themselves over for the sake of living with Mesiras Nefesh, for the sake of giving oneself over for the klal. What is their reward going to be? The inun yoimrin kach v'kach. And they're going to announce kach v'kach. Kach v'kach means that anonymous reward that can't be grasped by name, and therefore it's just referred to in this unidentifiable form of kach v'kach. It's going to be this or that, but we can also believe that the Zohar HaKadosh is here hinting to what the Arizal is going to talk about later on in Kriyat Shema or Nefilas Apayim, that there's two forms of Mesiras Nefesh, but Pu'ula Mamish, which is the secret of the Asar Ruge Malchus, and the Neshama of Rabbi Akiva, where there's a certain element that actually has to be Moiser Nefesh in order to bring about Rachamim Rabbim. And there's also going to be the Mesiras Nefesh that each and every person engages in at every moment, Alecha Hergenu Kol Hayom, which is rooted in the Akedah itself, but a person lives al Kiddush Hashem. And that's Kach V'Kach. Kach V'Kach are the two forms of Kiddush Hashem. This is the secret of Kach Allah B'Machshava. Man de savil kama chirufen v'gedufen b'chol yuma alei mayu egre. Those who have suffered so many insults, those who have suffered so much difficulty as a result of my name, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what should their reward be? Inun amrei kach, and they're going to announce this is what it should be. Kan de isanish b'chol yuma alei mahu egre. Someone who has been struggling in this world through Yisurin, through the concealment, all of our concealments, what's their reward going to be? Inun amrei kach, and it will be kach. This is what the pasuk says. Zakta Zohar Kadosh, and this is where we're going to come to the Iker Inyan. Mahu pu'ulaso. What does it mean in HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with his actions? That his actions come with him. Ella kama d'chsiv. It's like the pasuk says in Tehillim Perek Lamed Aleph. Ma'arav tuvcha she'tzafanta l'reyecha pa'alta l'choysim bach. How tremendous is the goodness that you have hidden away to those who fear you, and the actions for those who have taken calmness and protection in you. Now, tzafanta, concealment, is the language of tzafon, of the north. The north always represents concealment, it represents difficulty, it represents the din of Bina, that place of Rabbi Shimon, that place of the tzaddikim asher ba'aretz hema, that place of Altik Rashamos, Elashemos, those places, those holy cities of the north, Svas, Miron, Tiveria, Tzadike Yisod Olam, Tzadikim Asher Ba'aretz Hema Va'adir Kol Chafsei Bam, who protect Klal Yisrael and who protect the Metzias itself through the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That the north is a place of concealment, the north is a place of an awakening, a rumbling that comes about when it gets dark out. The north is a place where it's concealed, where there's a coldness, where there's an absence of something. But over here we also see that this is where the goodness is going to come from. Dahu pu'ulaso. Neged b'nei Adam. What does it mean, neged b'nei Adam? Mahu ela neged akum. The difficulty that's going to come is going to be the nations of the world. Asher tzafanta l'reyecha, zakta Zohar HaKadosh. What does it mean, marav tuvcha asher tzafanta l'reyecha? That you have hidden away in the secret of marav tuvcha asher tzafanta, the secret of tzafon. Mahu asher tzafanta. What did you hide away, Rabbanu Shloim? V'chiman yigzol v'yitol min yadei ma dahavi b'ay l'meyev d'chsiv tzafanta. What do you have to hide something, Rabbanu Shloim? It's not like a person is going to take something that doesn't belong to them, that you have to hide it from them. Ella puk v'chami, come and see uvdin derechimna ovid kutshabrichu, how HaKadosh Baruch Hu performs his Rahmanas in this world. And so we're saying Tzafanta doesn't mean hiding away. Hashem doesn't have to hide anything away. And therefore we're going to read Tzafanta as the north, as that place of difficulty, as the place of the northern elements of things. that place where it appears to be devoid of light, where it's cold. See what Rachamim HaKadosh Baruch Hu has performed. That with that which HaKadosh Baruch Hu creates, the makkah, that which HaKadosh Baruch Hu uses in concealment is in and of itself going to be the source of the cure. Mineu Bei Avenagre, from the forest itself comes the handle for the axe. Mamtik Mar B'mar, sweetening the bitter with the bitter itself. Utilizing the Gevuros themselves to be Mamtik the Gevuros. The ascendancy of difficulty to reveal that it's from within difficulty that we come to reveal the deepest element of light. And so we see the Zohar Kadosh is revving up to reveal how Rav Tuvcha Sher Tzafanta, the goodness that you've hidden away. Hidden away doesn't mean you've hidden, because you don't have to hide anything, but it means the north. But the north is difficult, the north is concealed. Mesafon tiftach hara. Negativity emerges from the north. Nevertheless, it's the secret of the north and the difficulty that gives birth to the redemption and the secret of healing through that which breaks. How does HaKadosh Baruch Hu destroy? How does HaKadosh Baruch Hu erase? How does HaKadosh Baruch Hu create concealment? B'smoila, with dinim, with gevuros, with bina. B'yamina karuvu b'smoila machi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu draws close with the right side, which is the darom, which is the south. B'smoila machi, but with the left side, he pushes away. B'marach me be'yehavasvase. So we see that it's specifically from the left side that the comfort is going to come, because it's that which HaKadosh Baruch Hu has used as concealment, which is where the cure itself is going to come from. Because the pasuk says that it's from the north that difficulty arises. But in the north is also going to be the erasure of all negativity. Because it's from there that all difficulty comes from, that all concealment comes from. But it's also there that all goodness and all reward rests. And all of the goodness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu stands at the ready to reveal to Klal Yisrael. In the future, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come and call out to the north, and he's going to say, it's with you that I have hidden all that which is good, and all of the reward, it's the reward that's hidden away for my children who have suffered, who have suffered, who have suffered for the sake of my name. Give over the gifts that are hidden within you. Is what the pasuk says. We will say to the north, give over the goodness. The Zohar Kadosh is revealing the fundamental secret of Pnimius HaTorah, of the Zohar Kadosh, in the sense that the Gevuros themselves are the place where the Hamtaka comes from. The sense of intensity, the motivation towards change, the shift, the constant shift, the perpetual shifting from ground to groundlessness, ground to groundlessness, the never not churning, moving, perpetually emerging power of self-emergence of the Gevuros. Yes, it's the birthplace of difficulty and intensity, but it's also the birthplace of the revelation of the Gevuros that are higher than the Chasadim. That it's specifically from the place of concealment that a person is going to find the revelation of redemption, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so big that he's found in concealment as well. And this is the light of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. This is the light of the Zohar Kadosh. This is the light of Man Boi Kan Ella Man the Mahapech Meriru Lemasiku. That nobody can enter here until they have transformed the bitter into the sweet and the dark into the light. That's the secret of Marav Tuvcha Asher Tzafanta L'Reyecha, the secret of Tzafon, of hiding oneself, of uncovering that deep place of Tzafun Barech at the end, where I'm just crying out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu out of joy and out of recognition of the perpetual Rachamim Rabim that he is displaying at every single moment, to be Mamtig Dinim B'Shayrasham, to fix the problem even before it begins, to be Magala Geula Shlema Berachim Rabim, and the Koyach and the Schus of the Tzadikim, Asher Ba'aretz Hema Va'adir Chachaf Sebam, and the Tzadikim in our generation, of Yamim Mayim Melech Toisef Shnoisa B'Chodor Vador, the secret of Meitzafon Tiftach Hara, that from the north negativity arrives, but at the same way, Marav Tucha Shet Tzafanta L'Reyecha V'Omer L'Tzafon Tani, that the secret of Tani, the secret of Tiferes, Netzach, and Yisoid, the secret of drawing down that light of Rachamim Rabim into the secret of Nitzachon, which is the ability for us to overcome any difficulty, and then to be Megala Zayin on the Nakuda of Yisoid, which is the Mavaseret Sion that comes about by drawing the Rachamim into the Nitzachon, and being Megala Zayin in the light of Mashiach Tzedkenu Menachem Ben Amiel, and in the light of the tzaddikim, whose Petira is a kapara for the door. As we know of Kach Allah b'machshava, the Misa of Rabbi Akiva is Machaper, the Misa of the Sarah Hurge Malchus or Machaper, of Kach v'Kach, the secret of the Mesiras Nefesh needed to be Megalazain and the Melech HaMashiach. So we lost a tremendous, tremendous luminary, a luminary unlike any other luminary in our generation, Rav Moshe Wolfson, Schuseo Ganaleinu, the Mashkiach of Torah Vadas, whose Torah, I know I do not speak only for myself when I say that Emunah Sitacha was a fundamentally life-changing sefer for me in the fact that it revealed the radical depth and of the Torah and how it all fits together. Nobody like the Baal Emunah Sitacha showed how it all fits together. It all fits together. He would show through simple foundations how you can connect the most distant ideas imaginable, revealing a moment of chiddush that wasn't a chiddush in the sense that, oh my gosh, this is so crazy, I would have never, ever, ever have believed this to be the truth, but rather, oh my goodness, this is such an intuitive truth, but there's no possible way I would have ever come to understand it without the Torah whimsical wisdom and jumping from one place to another, the sha'ashu and the oraisa of the mashkiach schus yagen aleinu, the bala emunah sitacha. And ultimately everything was about bittul to malchus and to tefillah, and the ikr zach of this tzaddik was tefillah and emunah, and the sha'ashu and the oraisa, and the sha'ashu of Torah that opened up so much of the possibility of creativity for our generation to believe in ourselves, to have emunah sitecha ba'achar sayamim, that we have a right to the secrets of Torah. Nobody loved Eretz Yisrael like the Mashkiach, who I believe is being buried in Tiberia, where Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai comes to be Matayir Tiberia, and the tzaddikim asher ba'aretz hema, and the secret of the Pri Haaretz, and all of the tzaddikim who are Magala, the Mal of Eretz Yisrael, should be Mo'ir Schus Rabim for us to be Mamtik the Din B'Shayrasho, to be mamtik the marav tuvcha, to be mamtik the metzafon tiftachara with the secret of marav tuvcha shetzafant l'reyecha, and to be moirish schutz for ourselves and for the world. We'll read a little bit from the Mashkiach Emunah Sitecha in Parsha Shlach, where he says as follows, talking about the Yemei Bikurim, the fact that the summertime, Tammuz and Av, is a time of din, a time of concealment, a time of the Chet Meraglim, and how inherent within in the name of the Zera Kadosh that Shlach is the gematria of Yud Pamim Shemavaya, that in truth, specifically within the difficulty of the connection with Eretz Yisrael, we'll find the Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, the Arichas Apayim that Moshe Rabbeinu saw, that I wanted to draw him down into Eretz Yisrael, the secret of patience and Midos Tovos. And so the Mashkiach is explaining, the Mashkiach Schus Yagen Aleinu is explaining that it's specifically within these difficult times, the Nisayon of the Meraglim is like the Nisayon of the Akedah, which is finding a Kadosh Baruch Hu specifically b'derech rechoika, specifically in a place of concealment and fear and anxiety, where a person has to uncover bitachon and emunah, to believe in the yichud b'metzias and the yichud b'shlita, that a Kadosh Baruch Hu is singular in existence and singular in governance as well, and in control of every part of existence. So what's the inyan of the Nisayon of the Akedah? The chiddush of the Akedah was that Avram Avinu saw the place from afar, Kadosh Baruch Hu nira elav meirachok, that a Kadosh Baruch Hu appeared to him by way of a distance, and the secret of, and he doesn't say this here, but what we're describing in the Zohar Kadosh is meifsafon tiftachara, from that concealment. Because his heart was concealed, and a person's heart is concealed and far away from feeling the clarity and the comfort of faith. Shayu belibo kushyas ala Kadosh Baruch Hu, that the heart had questions on a Kadosh Baruch Hu. The stira that we know that on the one hand he said Yitzchak is going to be your son, on the other hand he says that bring him to his death. And the secret of what Avram Avinu did was he became a Chabad Chassan, and it was a mayach shalit al halev in that moment, and he overcame the nisayon. And this is the nisayon that we experience, says the Mashkiach Schus Yagen Aleinu. Says as follows: V'zeh gadol nisayon shel Akedah. V'nisayon zehu b'chinas ikvas ad Mashiach. This is the nisayon of ikvas ad Mashiach. Shit kufas hester panim v'cheshkas. It's going to be a period of concealment and darkness. Kavyachol yesh kushyas ala Kadosh Baruch Hu. We're going to have kashas on a Kadosh Baruch Hu. V'isa meirav Kadosh Melechevich secher tzadik lebracha. Ala pasuk v'haya ekev tishmaun. V'haya is a lashon of simcha. Shatia simcha kasher ekav, in the time of ikvas of the Mashiach, tishmuna mitzvah Hashem, meaning it's going to be so difficult that even the slightest listening to the ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu beikvas of the Mashiach is going to be such a simcha klape shmaya because of how concealed it's going to be. Because when a person finds themselves in a state of concealment and darkness, chashivas gadol hu avodah. The avodah is more important then, because that's where we're going to reveal the Marav Tuvcha shetzfant l'recha. The Kfar Biarti b'Parshas Ve'era, the Mashgiach Schus Yogan Aleinu says that I've already explained to you in Parshas Ve'era. This is the Malach praising Avram Avinu after the Nisayon of the Akedah. That Akev, because you've listened to my voice, Avram Avinu, you found me even within the difficulty that we will experience in Ikvas of the Mashiach. That struggle that Klal Yisrael is going to go through in Ikvas of the Mashiach, of the Mitzafon Tiftach Hara, of the concealment of the light of the Tzaddikim and the light of the Torah. That's what Avram Avinu was able to overcome. And nevertheless, you listen to me. The Mashgiach ends this Parsha with the following words. Parsha Shlach. Be'ikvas of the Mashiach, in the time of Ikvas of the Mashiach, tzarich letaken hanisayon ha'acharon. A person has to refine the last nisayon, which is the nisayon of the Akedah, the nisayon of the Meraglim, which is seeing the good concealed within that which appears to be the opposite of good. L'malus hayud shel anovim, and to fill in the yud in the word of Bikurei Anovim, to transform it from a difficulty which says v'yanusu osizeh eser pa'amim v'l'shamu b'kali, and those 10 times that we've bothered HaKadosh Baruch Hu kavyachol, and to transform that not listening into the place of what it's written by Avram Avinu, Eikav asher shamata b'koli, of listening to me in Ikvas of the Mashiach. V'atikun hu b'tamuz of Av, and the tikkun to all of this is in the times of Tammuz and Av. If Yamuva b'sifrei Talmidei Baal Shem Tov, as it's revealed in the writings of the Baal Shem Tov and his Talmidim, shetzarech lahes chazik b'zmanim elu ba'avodas Hashem b'simcha, that a person has to strengthen themselves in terms of serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu with joy, of sweetening the difficulty with joy, of the bitachon and the amunah of joy, of the Zohar revealing joy, of the Chadi Rabbi Shimon, of the light of bracha and Hartzion that comes down, and the Besura of the Geula, and the secret of the V'tischak Liyom Acharon, and the Schoik the Yitzchak. Shezeh tikun b'chinas ha'anovim. And this is the rectification of the Bikurei Anovim, the days of Samach Mem, Aleph Lam, the days of concealment, the days of darkness, the days of the north. Asher hayayinu mesameach Elokim va'anashim, that wine itself will emerge from the grapes, even though they haven't yet emerged, and it's going to bring joy to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to human beings. V'akois ha'chamishi shel Eliyahu, and it's the 5th kois of Eliyahu Hanavi, connected to Lashon ha'chamishi shel Geula v'havesi, that you have brought me into the land, the Gematria Mashiach ben David, the Gematria of Mashiach ben David, Sheyovo b'mehera b'yameinu, Amen Mamish.